Hello. So today we have an exciting little unboxing to do. The lovely people over at Benu sent me a pen to take a look at with you guys, and it is part of their new AstroGem collection. So the initial inspiration for this AstroGem collection was actually a post on their fountain pen network group on Facebook, and I think someone mentioned that the asteroid Oumuamua looked like a Benu. So of course that drew the attention of Benu, and it sparked the idea of creating this line of pen in kind of the same shape as this asteroid. So there's 7 different colorways in this line, and they're all named after different asteroids or comets, and I really love this idea of a space themed collection. So initially I was really drawn to the Midas version of this pen because of the earthy colors, but I already have the Earl Grey, which is a Goulet exclusive, and that one is a beautiful sort of amber color, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to go for one of the more flamboyant designs just because I don't own a pen that has anything that bright and colorful, so I ended up going with the Juno. So let's take a look and see. Oh my gosh, oh wow, it's not as bright as I thought it would be, which I am totally not mad about at all. Let me change the focus on this so we can see it a little better. Okay, hopefully that's a little clearer. So on the photos and everything that I've seen online, it has been really a very hot, vibrant pink, almost fluorescent. So this actually is more subdued than I thought it was going to be. It's a beautiful sort of hot fuchsia or hot pink, but not fluorescent. So I really like this. And I love that the cap band kind of gives you a break here, so you have all of this crazy going on up here, but then you have a little bit of a break here with the cap band, which I think goes really well, and then back into that beautiful resin. So this has sort of these hot pink, kind of Barbie pink actually, sparkles, which is different to the band here. The center band is more of a fuchsia color, and all Benus come with a Schmidt nib. They come with either a fine, medium, or broad. I chose the medium because I have a couple of fines, so I wanted to try out the medium. I don't have anything like this in my collection, and I think the silver hardware goes really nice with this. I believe all Benus have the silver hardware, so the clip is always silver, and so is the nib, well, or steel, but silver toned. So the shape of this is really unusual. Let me grab my euphorias so we can take a look. So these are my 2 other Benus. So look at that family, isn't that lovely? I don't actually own any of the Talisman model, which is more similar, I think, to the AstroGem. It's definitely a different sort of faceted design. The AstroGem has symmetrical kind of divots throughout here, but they're sort of long planes of faceting, whereas the Talisman, I believe, has smaller sort of indentations that are around the pen. Yeah, so size-wise, it is smaller in length than the Euphoria. So the capped length of the AstroGem is 5.51 inches. The Talisman, which I do not own, is 5.43 inches, so a little tiny bit shorter. And then the Euphoria is quite a bit longer at 5.86 inches. So I think this kind of sits in the middle between the Euphoria and the Talisman, but I think it's more similar in length to the Talisman than it is to the Euphoria. But they really took inspiration from the artist rendition of the Oumuamua asteroid. So it tapers quite strongly in the end, and then sort of comes to this sort of more bulbous cap at the top here. When you uncap it, it actually seems quite balanced because this is sort of the same taper width as this. So it actually looks quite nice. To hold it in your hand, you feel the facets, but they're so smooth, and the length of it just seems really nice. You can see in comparison with these 2 models that the AstroGem has a bit of a steeper section here, so that may be interesting sitting on your hand. Actually, you know what, it doesn't even touch my hand at all. So it has the same sort of threads and section width and everything like that. It just has a little bit of a different step down from the body of the pen. And then, as you can see, the Euphoria is a little bit longer, but the sections are exactly the same, grip size and everything, and same nibs. So I believe this is a size 6 Schmidt nib. Okay, so I think this one, whoa, this actually posts really smoothly. I think it's probably because of this tapering here. I'm not sure if this is just a aesthetic design or if it's actually functional, but if you like to post your pens, this fits in really nice and tight. It is a little heavy for me. I don't think I would probably end up posting it. I like the length as it is, and this is it's quite a lightweight pen, but I don't think you'd be disappointed either way. If you like to post, it's going to post. It's going to make it pretty long. I really like how this sits in my hand. There's nothing going on. There are some interesting facets on the end here. Everything is really smooth, but I don't think that's going to annoy anybody. I'm not sure how the talisman sits, if it's different to that, but these facets don't really feel like anything on your hand, so I don't think that's interfering at all. I think aesthetic wise, I think I still prefer the sort of shape of the Euphoria. I kind of like this sort of streamlined look. This is definitely a little more of an organic shape, which I can appreciate as well. The cap does look a little more sort of bulbous. It is really an interesting shape. But oh, and that clip, that's a really bouncy clip. Isn't that lovely? Do my Euphorias do that too? Oh yeah, I think I knew that, but I never use the clips. So that's a really cool sort of spring-loaded clip there. So that's great if you do use clips. The section here and the cap band is transparent. You can see the light sort of going through that. It's fairly transparent, and you can see the nib and feed housing in here through that. So the variation on the resin and the shimmer is going to be different from pen to pen. Each pen is really unique. There's no pen that's going to have the exact same patterns on here. So that is a really fun element of getting a Benu. You never really know what you're going to get. I also really appreciate the use of restraint with the branding on these pens. It's just a really simple debossed logo on here. On my Gold Coast Euphoria, there's a little bit of silver sort of in that debossing, but for the most part, they keep it really simple and just allows the pen to speak for itself. All right, so we have to pick an ink for this. So I'm going to go grab some different inks and we will pick an ink for it and try it out. Okay, so I went through my collection and pulled out a couple of inks that I think will go really well with this pen. They're mostly pinks and purples because that's pretty much the dominant color of this pen, and I do kind of like my pens to match the ink. I'm not sure why. I guess they don't have to be exactly the same color as the pen, but they kind of have to complement it in some way. So the first one we have is Sailor Manyo Fuji, and I think this goes really, really well. It has some of the darker tones of purple plus some of those lighter tones in there. And the next one is Ferris Wheel Press Auroralis, and this goes really, really well with it, with the dark tones in here, as well as it has a pink shimmer, which matches quite well with this shimmer here. Then we have another really good match. Actually, I think this kind of works maybe better than the Auroralis. It's a little bit of a lighter toned purple. It definitely has some blue in it, which is good because this is sort of a deeper purple in here. And it has a pink shimmer, which goes really well with the sparkles in this pen. So I think that's a really good match. Actually, I'm going to put this over here because I think that's probably one of my favorite matches. Then we have another Ferris Wheel Press, which is Poison Ivy. This one, I'm not sure about the green sheen on this. I think the base color is a really good match, but I'm not sure about the sheen. And then we have Robert Oster Viola. And I think this is a great match for these sort of swirly bits in here where the pink is sort of mixing with that purple. And then we have some kind of very vibrant fuchsia colors that sort of match with this section here. This Ferris Wheel Press Sugar and Spite has a shimmer in it as well, which is always really fun. It is a little bit cooler toned than the middle section here, but it goes really well with all the sparkle and the pink in the body. And then Einstein Ring, I really like this one actually. It's not a perfect match for this cap band here, but I really like the vibrancy of this, and I feel like it really matches the tone of this pen. Also, Colorverse being sort of a space themed sort of brand, I think that is a really fun sort of dynamic with that. So this is definitely in the maybe pile. And then we have Pilot Iroshizuku Yamabudo, which I think is also a really good match. It's that nice vibrant sort of pink in the text. It does have a green sheen, but it's not too dominant in the text. You can still see the base color, so that's quite nice. Then we have Diamine Claret, which is actually almost a identical match to the cap band here. So this one is definitely a contender. It's a beautiful vibrant pink, so maybe we'll put that in the pile. Then we have a more subtle sort of pinkish color here. It actually is quite a good match to the shimmer in the pen. On the screen here, I think it looks like it's a little bit subdued, but that could still be a good match. And then I did a couple of sort of contrasty colors here. I chose Diamine Aqua Lagoon because it's just this super vibrant color that I think would really complement the pen. And then we have this super vibrant Sunshine Yellow from Diamine, which I just think looks really pretty with the sort of vibrancy of the pen. So maybe I will put that in here as well. Although I don't tend to write with a lot of sort of lighter colors. But I think, yeah, let's have a look again with these. So we have Sunshine Yellow, Claret, Einstein Ring, Viola, and Izzy Monster. So a good sort of selection here. I'm not sure which one I'm going to choose, so I will go off and choose that, and then we'll come back and test it out. Okay, so I ended up going with the Colorverse Einstein ring just because it's such a good match with the color, but also because of the spacey theme. I thought it was just a nice sort of synergy there with those two elements. But yeah, I think it's going to look really beautiful in here. Let's give it a write. Okay, so we have wow, this is really smooth. Benu AstroGem, and it is in Juno, and it has a medium nib, and then the ink we have is, wow, I can't believe how smooth this nib is. I thought the fines were smooth, but this medium is crazy. Colorverse Einstein ring. Wow, this is gorgeous. Not sure if this is just a really wet ink, but this is a very wet writer. No flecks in the nib, but you can see how it lays down so much ink on that downstroke there. So nice. Okay, let's do a little swatch of the ink. Look at that vibrant color. And I think it is a great match for this. It's a little bit more pink leaning than the purple in here, and it's not as pink as the cap here. But I think it's a really lovely matchy color. Even if it's not an exact match, it really goes with the look of this pen. So there you have it, the beautiful Benu AstroGem in Juno. Again, I am really loving this colorway. I'm so glad that it's not like a fluorescent pink. It is definitely a hot pink, but it is not neon or fluorescent in any way. It still has like a touch of class to it, I would say. I mean, all their pens are quite flamboyant and kind of over the top, but I'm really, really pleased with this colorway. I think it's really fun. Again, there's like 7 different colorways, so I'm sure you will find one that you like if you're interested in this model. I'll put all the links to where you can get this. I know you can get it from the actual Benu site, but I'm pretty sure like Atlas Stationers, Pen Chalet, Pen Boutique, they're selling this on their site as well. And yeah, I think that's it. So thanks again to Benu for sending this out to me. I had such a fun time looking at the pen and picking an ink for it, and I hope you guys had fun too. And thanks for joining me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!